I had confirmation from Sienna. Thank you. Now you should have audio. You hearing me, Sienna? You hear me now, Jane? Jane? No. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. So we've got audio. I unplugged the receiver. Boom, boom. This one, and take the microphone off. We'll turn them off, and we'll work on that. So now you got to put up with a grumpy, scratchy audio. And the funny one is we're just using the computer camera on this, and we could get better camera quality with an external camera, but it used to be really bad until I cleaned the camera on the computer. And it seems to be okay. The level of the internet affects everything here, the quality of what goes out. But we're on the Starlink, and Starlink's firing at the moment, so that's all fine. And it's really interesting today what I'm going to show you. Who knows? Maybe the entrants are into it and they're following it, but I think they're coming on. All the ones that got Starlink, and they've all turned left, left really fast, and they all trying to desperately avoid that current below them because you don't want to be down there with light winds. So maybe we're distorting the actual reality if we weren't actually giving these updates, because the level of communications is extreme for a mini. And I just saw Dan, not Dan, Holiday Dan, Aussie Dan, just did a half-hour streaming session yesterday answering questions, which is unheard of, live, real time, just half an hour doing questions while he's drifting along on the boat in the doldrums in the middle of the Pacific from Panama on his way to the Galapagos. So that's kind of a bit of fun. It just changes everything. And I must admit, as you know, we're running the Golden Globe race, which is a complete isolation situation, and we will never change that, because if we had this level of communication on the Golden Globe, it would get incredibly boring after a while, because all the entrants would be coming up, for 9 months, giving a daily update or whatever it is, and you just run out of it in the end, and you get sick of looking at it, I think. So it's all kind of interesting, this new world of high tech. Anyway, we're here, and let's go straight onto the tracker. I ran a 30-second or so intro to give people time to get here. But if you're watching the replay, you've obviously already fast forwarded and got rid of that. So anyway, here comes the tracker. There it is. So now I get onto it here. And I'm on current straight away because there's a variable wind that's affecting various people. But you can see here now, here's Renaud coming down. He was heading down here, and then we started talking about it there, and he's shot across. And now everyone's going out west as quick as they can, because this is the problem zone here. So I think word got around pretty quick. And I'm not saying that they weren't aware of that, and maybe that was part of their tactics as well, but it's kind of funny. And the good news is that Renaud's not streaming out in front. No disrespect to Renaud, but it means that it's showing quite clearly that One Design boats are the way to go. If you look across here, generally speaking, it's just a positioning thing, but let's just measure the distance from Panama. They've been making pretty good time, really, considering exactly where they are. This is renowned for being, a very slow pass, because we're up to a week now. We just come to a week. Okay, it's not that far. Oh, well, probably 700 miles. So they've done 100-mile days average so far. Nothing like the trade winds on leg one or coming across the Atlantic, but still pretty handsome sort of figures, no problems there. They would have come around the corner here and down, but that would make it about 700 miles. Excuse me, sorry. Which is pretty cool. The boys haven't left yet. They're obviously having a good time. I sent them a message today just to say, hey, let us know when you're underway and blah, blah, blah. So, but we haven't heard back. They've been there a week now, having fun, getting prepared. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to leave the currents on there because there's not a lot to see on the wind, but I will show you in a minute. The currents might be more relevant. You can see here Josh is doing 1.6 knots, and he's probably got, you can just detect that he's moved a little bit across, and that's possibly this head current pushing him a little bit sideways. A bit hard to say. Gary's been doing well with the current. He's been going quite fast. He's done a 105-mile day, and but now he's starting to. He's always still holding the current. He's obviously sailing well, and he's obviously got a bit of breeze. So He's not very far from, if we get rid of the issue we had when we were measuring up with Renaud and just put him onto Kerry, he's about, I've already measured it, he's about 85 miles behind Kerry and Christian down here. So that's not too bad. He was 12 hours later, I think it was. Was it 12 hours or the next day? Jeepers, I forget now. Anyway, he's not lost down the back there. He's keeping up and gaining at times as well. So that's pretty good. Right now he's doing 4.7, 105 mile day. That'll be probably the biggest day anyway. And Eric is doing 3.4 knots in a 60 mile day. So still making way. He's got a bit of current there helping. Ayrton, 3 knots and 50 mile day. And Christian, 1.8 knots and 55 mile day. And Kerry, 2.7 knots and 50 mile day. So 50 mile is the norm, except for Gary up there that's streaking along. So that's pretty good. Jacob, 2.2, 52 mile day. They're all doing about the same. Adam, 2.6, 57 mile day. Dan Turk, 3.4, 58 mile day. That's a little bit better. He's certainly steering a straight course too. This is something we always talk about. You know, if you're steering straight, if you look here at Adam, well, he's going this way, that way, now he's across there, now he's turned down there. If you straighten that out, he'd be in front of Dan right now. So you can still change your relative position, but if you get rid of these zigs and zags, you've actually progressed forward a lot better. You're better off doing a slow, steady sort of repositioning or something. Like this is a radical one, but they got to turn sometime or other. So that's cool. So Dan Turner, 2.4 knots, 43 mile day, not as much as the other guys. And if I build this up, at least we can see Renaud. Peeler was right over the top of Capuchinet before. They're side by side. So Renaud's doing 2.1 knots, 55 mile day, and Peeler has only done 42 mile days. So at one point she was just a little bit in front, but now Renaud's pulled across, and so Peeler's doing 2.1. But nonetheless, after 650 miles or a week in this stuff, or 700 miles in a week, being side by side is good. And what I was saying, if we scale this back, you can see basically, without stretching the imagination, these boats all the way across here are pretty much on a par. So Peeler, Renaud, Daniel again, Adam, Kerry, Christian, pretty much all in line, if we accept the fact that they're going to go around the corner here somewhere. And I'll just show you what that means. Now that the other group has gone across, if we say Kerry, down to a position just on the green there, okay, 169 miles, that's what they've got to go through to get there. And Renaud and Peeler have got to do 196. So they're about 25 miles further back. But let's wait and see what happens with the weather. For sure, you can see here, if this doesn't move back, they're going to have their VMG, their vector made good, is going to be impacted by this current here. There's nothing they can do about that. In fact, they've been really lucky that this has moved down the back. Kerry and the guys, they're going to run out of current. They're coming out of it, and as they come down, they're just going to get it pushed a bit sideways down here if that's the course they manage with the wind. Okay, and then just reviewing, once they get around the corner, they got another big push coming down here. And the trade winds have got the latitude and longitude in. Sorry, I'll stick that in now. There's the equator. Renaud's over the equator. Look at that. Let's just have a look here. He would have stepped across. So, not quite. He's not there yet, but he will be in the next 4 hours. Okay. Once we push that down, he's getting very close to the equator there. So Renaud's going to be first one across, and then he enters the realm of this current. He wouldn't be able to point much higher than that. Let's have a look at the wind now, just to show you. It's really heads or tails, there's nothing much in it. They're all on the same gradient, which is what I said a few days ago. I said by the first, no one's got a wind advantage. There's basically no wind there. If I come back to show you the bigger picture, the wind is not far away down south here, but it's still too far away. And if we just pick that up now, and let's see what the forecasts are doing. We're now onto the second, coming up to about 24 hours. And you see the wind is now filling in, and it's all on the beam for all of them. So it's a drag race now. There we go. This is 24 hours from now. It's pretty much a drag race. They can come straight down here. These guys will come straight down here and try and miss that current, but I think they'll lose out a bit. If it does hold the way that's saying, I think we'll see these guys possibly turn up about 30 miles in front of them by the time, so they could have a break. So Kerry's 12-hour late departure, I think it was. Was it 12 hours? Yeah, I think it was. Is going to be lost in the woodwork, and he might just squeak ahead of Renaud. Anyway, it's a bit hard to call because it's still slower going. That's the second. Here we go. Just keep moving this weather along. The third. It's pretty good. It's pretty consistent. They're getting there's similar breezes up here as down here. The third's going quiet again, so no one's going to get an advantage. It's just what exists at the moment, and it's suggesting that Renaud and the team, Peeler and Daniel and so on, have got further to go to get to a point down here than Kerry and the team up here. So as for the middle play, they're splitting the difference. Let's wait and see. But they're all very close together, and that's kind of fun. So that's about all I can tell you now, other than the fact that Christian's still in the lead because he's, if we remember the rum line over here, this is bypassing the whole thing. He's the furthest ahead next to the rum line and so on. So, and even if you cut that at 90 degrees to say if they come back on course now, you can see that these guys at the top left are technically in front of these guys at the bottom right. So they've got their work cut out for them. And did they listen to these updates and change their mind on things, or were they doing it already? I think they're probably doing it already. What else can I tell you here? I think that's it. We're done there. This will be a short one. So I'm going to go back here and see who's there. Say g'day. Oh, Stuart's there. We've got the questions pop up again. Well, I'll hide that. So Stuart's with Citran. Citran's our designated charity, and I've got a Citran there somewhere. Shapers. I took them all out because we're sorting everything out. Usually have one here. But they've all got their onboard Citran race director. They have to include them in every shot of their chart plotter. That's the secret key. Anyway, all about motor neurone disease and Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. And we're all getting older, and I won't talk about it. But anyway, I think I'll be all right. Dementia's a funny thing. But anyway, every day's a new day. You know, happened to my mother, so I'm probably going that way. G'day, Adrian. Dan did a great Q&A. Yeah, it was. It was really. I didn't watch it all. I watched about 2/3 of it, and it was. I just sitting there thinking, this is unbelievable. You know, a little mini in the middle of the Pacific, and he's sitting there doing a Q&A. You know, working the phone and this, that, and the other, because you can work two devices off this Wi-Fi, as you probably know. You know, the Starlink is just a little antenna like that. And it includes, it's all 12 volt, and it includes its own router and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. You just log in and you're away. So pretty crazy. So all kind of fun. Hi, Don. Is anyone using their motor successfully in the low wind situation and recharging during the sunshine hours? Quite possibly, but I don't know. I haven't heard anyone reporting that. They take a lot of power, so you're going to have to, and they've restricted on their solar panels. It's part of the deal that we did on purpose. We restrict the battery capacity in the boat and the maximum amount of solar panels, which is only 200 watt. But if you're able to turn everything off, sort of thing, and use your 200 watt effectively, and that means having flexible panels that you can kick up onto the sun all the time. 200 watts is very powerful. More than just having it on a Targa. You're losing 50-60% when it just sits there and you can't angle it on the sun. So those that can do that, I think they will be topping up their house batteries, and then they could charge off that. So maybe we'll see what comes out of it. I haven't heard anyone discussing it at this point, but that's part of the deal. That's why we didn't restrict the engine use, because it's kind of fun to build that into your tactics, and it's good for the development of electric motors because that means they're trying out all these different things you can do. So I thought, what the heck. just let it run. But we don't. You imagine if we didn't restrict the solar panels, the people would just have solar everywhere and it'd be a solar boat race. So anyway, ahoy from Port Leo. G'day, Captain Joel. Beep Free Live. Do you have free use of the motor? Yeah, they do. They can use it whenever they want. Yeah, g'day, Stuart. We'll have to catch up. It's just been nuts. Steve, wow, the wind chart looks like they are in better wind than the boat speed shows. Yeah, that's exactly right. As I've said many times, it's hard to, first of all, show the low gradients. Obviously, if the wind is forward of the beam, then you get high apparent wind and they can keep the boat moving. The sea state would be calm. So that helps. And you get these puffs. If there's a thunderstorm comes through or something, there's only so much breeze. And if it's blowing hard and then the thunderstorm leaves, there's nothing behind it. There's all these funny phenomena. There's only so much air out there. And so you then get the big calm after the thunderstorms. But sometimes you just get this gradient that just turns up and no one can measure it. The sensors, the drifting buoys out there and the other bits and pieces, they can't pick it up to put it into the computer model. So it's very hit and miss when it's such light winds forecasting over that area. It can be dramatically different. So, Adrian, can they cut through between the islands or are the areas restricted due to the nature of the islands? There's a good point. I haven't seen the actual management plan. It's obviously a huge international reserve and national park, I'm sure of that, with some marine parks as well, which will have restrictions and controls, but I haven't read it, so I don't know whether you can just sail through it. Technically, from a marine point of view, you can, but you'd want to be careful and not get too close and things like that. So I don't think anyone will, but let's wait and see. Okay, I think we're done. A very quick one. All right, that's all good. So we'll see you again tomorrow, and this is a good time for me. When we get the 1400, the 1600 UTC, 4:00 in the afternoon position is actually 6 p.m. Our time here in Les Abdelons. So that's pretty cool. And I'm trying to think of something stupid to say. I know it's too late, but it was April Fool's, so I hope not too many people got caught out by April Fool's, but I didn't, so that was cool. But I was thinking before, we could do something stupid, but I didn't have time, so we didn't do anything stupid. Everything we do is quite sensible, rational, and sane. So see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. And I'll see if I press the right buttons. Boom, boom. Oh, now there's no start button. Wrong one. I'll turn that off. Oh, here we go. Boom. I want that one. Oh, jeepers. This is getting ridiculous. I'm going to chop that one right out, remove it, so you can't have that. And then I'm going to hit this one. This is all just getting out with style to make us look really professional.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Whoa, I think it worked.